Record.
Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Rafael and I am the founder of Aim to Thrive. So what is Aim to Thrive and what is our mission? Quite simply, Aim to Thrive's mission is to vastly improve the lives of construction workers, both mentally and physically, through simple, accessible online education and workshops. In doing so, I'm helping to support construction business owners to create a culture of healthier and safer work sites. I would like construction workers to learn new skills to alter the direction towards a better, healthier lifestyle. And this morning, it is my pleasure to introduce a very good friend of mine, Dr. Brett Bulkeley, an experienced and passionate chiropractor from the company Wellington Chiropractic. Welcome, Brett, to the show.
Hey, mate, how are you?
Good, great.
Good.
So thank you very much, Brett, for agreeing to sort of take part in my video show. Brett, tell us about Wellington Chiropractic and what drew you into this field of work.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Look, we're a small clinic here in Wellington. I grew up with Raf in South Auckland. We're a small company, small clinic called Complete. I'm a chiropractor here. I work alongside a physiotherapist and a sports massage therapist. So we're pretty busy at the moment. We'll see how this red light carries on, but other industries are struggling down here. So we'll see how that goes. I'm also a medic. I work a lot with sports teams. Growing up, my father was always involved. He was a builder, is a builder still on the tools at 73.
That's great.
So he's doing well, yeah. So he was always involved with our sports teams growing up, and I moved down to Wellington, and it was a good way to get involved, become part of the community. So I work a lot with the local rugby league and local sports, and we had a great little event down here, IT Heavy Hitters, which was a big Key to Life event to support Key to Life, Mike King's little program to deal with the issue we have with suicide in this country. So that was a cool thing to be involved with as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And so, Brett, what sort of drew you into the fields? Like you've had a very varied sort of work career, sort of background.
A dodgy back, actually.
Oh, really?
Well,
okay.
yeah. Look, years of sport, and then I went into the building industry as well. Went over to the States in the 90s, did steel construction, steel erection. And I remember one day thinking, oh, I can't do this when I'm 50. So I thought that combines with, like you, Raf, we were into our martial arts growing up, and I carried on with that in the States. And all these guys I trained with went to a local chiropractor.
Really?
He looked after the 49ers. So I tagged along one day and gave it a shot, gave it a crack, if you like, and really helped a lot. And sorted out a few old niggles, and I realized that actually sometimes you shouldn't wait till you fall apart. Things get really sore. There's a little bit of maintenance you can do to prevent that happening. And with his treatment and some physio and some rehab stuff, I just felt a lot better. So decided to hit the books again,
nice.
Which was a big call. I was actually 30 when I went back to study.
All right. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, I didn't have a family and other responsibilities, so it worked out okay. And it was a way to get back to New Zealand too. So I studied up in Auckland. That was 6 years full time, but being a bit older, I came out, and I guess it looked like I'd been doing it for a while, but I got very lucky and got a job on the Sevens circuit with the Cook Island Sevens team, and that was a huge opportunity to learn, and it's been great. So I've been in practice for 15 years, and it's been good.
Fantastic. Brett, tell us about your work on a typical day, week, and the common sort of ailments people sort of consult with you with.
Yeah, it's all sorts. I'm in the city, so I deal a lot with people stuck behind their computers all day, generally. and a lot of it is inactivity. There's been a nice shift to people getting a bit more mobile, but also, there's lots of building going on around me too. Over the years, and with my involvement with sports teams, see lots of tradies, lots of athletes, good variety actually. It's good fun. A lot of it is around. Most of my work is ACC based. A lot of people come in initially for an injury. My goal is to get them feeling better as quickly as possible and give them some tools to help themselves. I've been in, as I said, I opened the practice in 2007. So been here a while. So what I see now is, most of the new patients, new clients are injury-based ACC claims. I take care of all of that paperwork for them. But there's also a lot of people that have realised over the years that they just feel better for popping in every few months or so for a bit of a tune-up, if you like.
Yeah, sure thing.
And and that's good to see too.
Yeah, nice one. So many contractors, tradesmen, they suffer with joint pain, muscle pain, lower back pain. What can these individuals change in their life to manage this better? What sort of advice do you give to them?
Well, it's different. Everyone's different. There's not a one size fits all sort of thing. If I was to generalize, the younger guys coming through, we're all 10 foot tall and bulletproof till until our late 20s, and the old injuries start to catch up with us. We've just got to take better care of ourselves. We take better care of our tools on the site. We value what they can contribute to a good outcome, job-wise, project-wise, but we're our main tool. We give ourselves a little bit of a hard time. It's quite, very physical work. Probably not as physical as it used to be, in my father's day, with nail guns and all sorts of tools, and the safety stuff that's come in too, which is really good. But they say in the 20s, you're pretty strong and resilient, but you need to address little niggles as they come along. Most things will take care of themselves, but I would suggest, even though the work is physical, you need to get in the gym. You need to keep your body strong. It's going to help you maintain your work career, maintain resilience, maintain strength. Our work is very physical, but we tend to work on our strong side. We'll carry everything on one side because we can carry more on our strong side than the other. So there are imbalances that do develop over time, and they can be addressed in the gym. And the gym workout is good mentally as well. It's a good natural antidepressant, if you like.
Yeah, sure thing. So do you sometimes with your consultations, you're meeting people at the gym, and then you're sort of walking around from machine to machine?
So I started my change of careers when I was in the States, and I did some sports massage and some personal training. And you and I we've trained most of our lives, been involved in sports. You were really good. I wasn't, but
okay. Thanks, I guess. I don't remember being really good, but I'll take it.
Yeah. So when I first started, I was tied in with the gym, and I did a little bit of that. But I'd rather bring in the guys that do that full time and are really experienced and can spend time with people if needed. Look, the maintaining strength is key. We get older, we get into our 30s and our 40s, and our bodies change. Simple as that. Our bodies are different. We need to look at what we eat. We eat too much, and we have a culture of feasting in this country, and we eat too much, and we don't need to. And our bodies do change. So we've just got to keep mobile. I often say, I've got people that have come in quite regularly, and I say to them, if you bring in a combination of resistance or weight training, some yoga just to maintain full range of motion, that sort of thing, I see less of people.
Right. I guess not so great for you, but great for them.
Well, right? Hey, my goal is to, I don't know. I look at it around the other way. Because if I get them better and they're able to take care of themselves, they just send other people in anyway. So, I'm not really here to say, you need to come back 3 times a week. No.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
When do you feel, sorry, I'm looking over here because this is where my questions are written, but so that's why I'm sort of looking off to the right here. So when is it the right time to visit a chiropractor? Like, so say for example, if you're a tradesman, you're someone that has a lot of physical sort of work fitness, at what point, if I've never been to see a specialist, at what point should I sort of visit or make the plan to come and see a chiropractor? And what can I expect as a first time sort of person visiting someone such as yourself?
Yeah, look, I will say it's one chiro is very different than the next, one osteo is different than the next, one physio is different than the next. Often it's best to ask around, get recommendations from people who've had good experiences and good results. Everyone responds a little bit differently to different things. I talk about it's all about the person on the table. There's many different techniques, and it's about picking the right one for that person. The reality is most people do, especially guys, wait till things fall apart and they come in when they're really sore. I'd suggest just listen to your body. Listen, those little niggles that are there all the time, they don't have to be. We can fine tune things, get things moving a little bit better, a little bit more efficiently, and then that results in less wear and tear down the track, because you've got a long career ahead of you, and you need that body working just right. So a little bit of maintenance is not a bad thing. Sometimes people come in here with no injuries or no problems at all. They just want me to make sure everything's moving as best as possible, and we do that very quickly and point them in the right direction. Usually for me, it is advice around getting active, getting the body moving.
Oh, nice one. Thanks for that, Brett. Brett, what advice do you give to construction company owners? So a lot of the time, you have these owners, managers of large commercial, large group home building construction firms, and they've got a lot of workers. And what advice do you give to them? They want to look after their workers. They're not too sure how they can do so. What advice do you give to the owners of these bigger firms?
I was thinking about it. It's tough. I mean, I could, because they're under a lot of stress themselves at the moment. These are crazy times, very different. With the material shortage and everything going on, all the restrictions in place, very stressful for everybody. Sometimes I've had some young guys have trouble get away from work to come in and see me. So I'll come in after hours, or I'll come in on the weekend. And, I understand it's hard to let people leave the job site, but be a little bit more supportive if someone is genuinely sore or needing some work done. I think a big thing, my cousin owns a logging trucking business, and it's the social disconnect these days. I think we were chatting earlier about, and I've worked a lot with organizations that look at mental health and suicide and suicide prevention and that sort of thing. There's a real disconnect on the job site. Some of the best times I remember on a job site, smoko lunchtime. This is back before smartphone days, so it was just everyone sitting around giving each other a hard time and having a laugh. I just walked past the big job site next to me the other day, and it was smoko. There were 10 guys in the shed, and they're all on the phone. No one's talking to anybody. And I just thought, wow, they're missing out on that, on a big part of, making that connection with people. So that is something to think about these days. That sort of thing. Bringing your workers together after hours. A bit hard at the moment with the restrictions in place, but my cousin with the logging business, they have a fortnightly barbecue and a couple of beers just to make sure that the guys have a chance to chat. Bit different for them. They're stuck in a truck all day, but there is and that mental stuff has a big effect on physical issues as well. So I think that's actually something to think about.
Yeah, sure thing. So as a company owner, I've got multiple people working for me. Something I need to be aware of would be to sort of ensure there's a time where I can connect and have a bit of a discussion, bit of a social talk with the guys in a relaxed atmosphere, and maybe we can bring up different areas in which we have concerns for. So would that be the advice, Brett, to sort of make sure that
that would be a big thing. I work a lot with physical issues, but if you really, I think of it as a stress in a person. And yes, there can be an injury and that will contribute to a physical stress, but what other stresses are going on that actually amplify that physical pain or that hinder me getting them feeling a bit better? So yeah, that's an important part of it. It's the mental stuff. Yeah.
Fantastic. What makes I remember one time I had the beginning of sciatica that a doctor couldn't solve with medication, and it was a very painful pinched nerve that ran right down to the bottom of my leg to my foot. And the doctor pretty much at one point said to me, look, I've done everything I can with medication, painkillers. My recommendation is you see a specialist. And then the doctor went on to say, who would you like to see? I can give you a referral. You can see a physio or a chiropractor. You can see all these different specialists. And I actually had no idea what was different from one to the other. So are you able to share with us what makes a chiropractor, what makes a chiropractor different to a physiotherapist or to a sports masseuse specialist or someone that has a similar type of career?
Well, we're all capable of helping. We're all, we'll spend a long time. My study was 6 years full time. Some of the things we study are a little bit different. Our approaches can be a little bit different. The ACC system is not a bad system, really. That doctor could give you a referral, but with that ACC, you're actually able to see an acupuncturist, osteopath, physiotherapist, or chiropractor, your choice. And sometimes you can see a combination of those. That's why I work with a physio next door and a massage person behind me in the next room. Sometimes people respond to a combination of treatments. Sometimes I'll plateau or I won't get the results that I expected. So I'll say, you need to pop in and see James. He's much more meaner than me and he'll get that sorted out. So different, everybody, like I said earlier, one chiro is different than the next, one physio is different than the next. So, but people respond to different things. Yeah. And often it's a mechanical issue that we are generally here quite hands-on. And then there's the exercise side of things as well. But it's good that you went to the GP because, these things you need to rule out other possible causes of these things.
Actually, Brett, I think I may have told you that I had this experience, and the first thing that the chiropractor did from memory in my first consultation is he referred me to go on to have a full body x-ray. So I remember one of my earlier consultations with the chiropractor, he actually had a full skeletal x-ray of my entire spine and everything. And when I saw it, I was quite shocked. And I thought, oh, far out, that was quite a different approach. I wasn't expecting that. And he sort of was able to highlight different areas in which he could see I needed to sort of pay some attention to. And it sort of really hit home. When I physically saw my spine, I could see that I had a bit of a curve in my spine. He showed me in my neck that I had two vertebrae that were sort of almost, there should be like a nice little bit of padding in between your neck vertebrae. And he sort of pointed out, look, you've got two vertebrae, which are almost touching. Got to be sort of mindful of that. And so was that sort of quite a typical sort of...
But you're getting older, but you're getting on a bit now.
This was about 10 years ago. I had a sway like a S shape in my spine, and then he asked me.
Look, part of our training is I'm licensed to take X-rays and to read spinal X-rays. I don't actually do that a lot. If there's a nasty injury or an accident, or there's been a long-term issue with a complaint, then hey, let's tick that box, have a look and see what's going on.
Okay.
But I do tell people straight away, I never see a perfectly straight spine. We're all a bit twisted one way or another. Yeah.
Sure.
And we've got wear and tear in our joints from our, depending on what we've done in our lives, from an early age, from our 20s, definitely. Yeah.
Sure.
So sometimes, I wouldn't place a lot of weight on everything you see in a film or everything that you see on the table. We paint a bit of a picture as to what's going on. But a big thing is you're not just a bag of bones and muscle. It's what's going on in here too. Are you stressed? Are you not looking after yourself? You've got other things going on. So
everything's really connected. Your physical, your mental health is directly connected. Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Nice one.
Definitely see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
definitely see that over the last couple of years. With COVID and the extra stress people are under, it just sort of drives that physical pain a little bit more. So
yeah. Hey, just on touching on wear and tear, I had a builder that's sort of getting on a bit, and he's asked for a bit of advice on osteoarthritis. In builders that are sort of in tradespeople that are getting on a bit. What advice do you have for someone that has that sort of pain experience and that sort of pain later on in their career?
Yeah, it's a tough one, and like I said before, everybody's different. There's not really much I can do to remove that wear and tear or that osteoarthritis. But is it getting irritated by something else not moving very nicely? So if we go through and make sure everything's moving well, then maybe we can take some stress off that injured area, and it feels a little bit better. And then we can direct them towards some exercise or rehab. It's hard when there is quite a bit of wear and tear, because you're not going to get much. You'll actually be probably worse from running or anything impact wise. But getting in the pool and getting some mobility happening is a good way to do that. And unfortunately, I mentioned earlier, our bodies change, as we get older. So as we hit our 40s, 50s, we lose muscle. So even when you're doing a very physical job, you do lose muscle. And I know if you're a chippy or built, and your knees are a bit off, you're going to work around that, so you don't actually have to step up, make a big step. So you end up saving your knees, but you end up losing a bit of muscle in your butt and your legs that essentially help to support the knees. So yeah, it's a tricky one. It's working. You've got to keep moving, but you don't want to be in pain doing it.
Yeah, sure thing. So I guess that's an important sort of bit of advice you give there. You've got to keep moving. Huh? It seems to be the sort of reoccurring sort of idea is that you can't
use it or lose it. Really.
Lose it. So literally use
literally use it or lose it, because the wear and tear is often exacerbated, strangely enough, by lack of movement too. So it's a tough one.
Nice one. Now, Brett, just to wrap up the session, the last question: what are your 3 top tips, workers, tradespeople, builders, electricians? What can they start doing from today in order to really look after themselves regarding their muscular and skeletal health? What can they start doing today? 3 tips.
Wow, 3. I wish there was a magic bullet, but I'll go back to that exercise, stretching, range of motion, and actually eating well, fueling the machine. Especially as you get older, we are somewhat bulletproof in our late teens to mid 20s, but that hard life you'll feel it in your late 20s, 30s, 40s.
What are you talking about?
Catches up with you. So, working hard.
Yeah.
So you've got to take care of the machine. I get a lot of older tradies coming in wanting me to fix them, and I honestly, I jokingly say, I wish you'd come here 30 years ago, or seen someone 30 years ago.
Sure.
It's easier to just keep things moving nicely and try and maintain a balance strength-wise, because the work is physical, but as I said before, you generally work to your strong side, and we all know how to lift properly, but the reality is you're often in awkward positions, and it's just not possible. But if you can get to the gym at a younger age, really get that symmetry and movement happening, that will support you a little bit better through your work life. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so strength, mobility, and we eat, as I back to the food, as we get older, just back off on the quantity of food.
The quantity, eating too much, yeah?
Eating too much. And especially us older guys, we just got to keep that poo away.
Food becomes a very comfort sort of luxury, doesn't it? Where you sort of, if you're feeling a bit sort of flat, you eat something that sort of can lift the spirit, and then that applies to drinking as well, doesn't it? So I guess it's sort of the old sort of what do they say? They say moderation, don't they? Is the sort of key.
Yeah, it does. Look, I mean, but the social side that's involved, the social aspect of food and drink, it's important too. But moderation, if you carry on doing any of those things too much into your 30s, you're going to have problems. Yeah.
Fantastic. Dr. Brett Bulkeley, thank you very much for your time.
Good to see you, mate.
Good to
I hope that helped. Thanks, guys. Take care. See you.